We have an NHL trade to discuss. The St. Louis Blues have traded defenseman Robert Bortuzzo to the Islanders. We'll discuss the return and what it means for both clubs coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have an NHL trade to discuss, and between the Islanders and the St. Louis Blues, the New York Islanders have acquired veteran defenseman Robert Bortuzzo from the Blues in exchange for a 2024 7th-round draft selection. Obviously, this won't come as a huge surprise if you follow either of these teams for a couple of reasons. One, the Islanders, they've actually been doing relatively well lately, but they're facing a lot of adversity, especially on the blue line. They've got 3 of their top 6 defensemen out injured right now. Adam Pelech is on LTIR. Ryan Pulock got hurt blocking a shot in their last game. Auger is still out as well. He's been out for a little while. They picked up Mike Riley on waivers, who's a short-term kind of stopgap solution here as well. You obviously have Dobson, who's been playing well. Mayfield still in there. But they really could use some veteran help without having too many inexperienced young guys on this roster getting all the playing time when ultimately they're still trying to be a playoff team this year. Time will tell if they can do it or not. Not going to be easy. Overall, this team is largely the same as last year, and well, they didn't make it last year. There really wasn't much of anything to be optimistic about for upgrades in that sense. So we'll see how this works out. Ultimately, Bortuzzo's 34. He's been with the St. Louis Blues for 8-9 years now. He's got a ton of experience. Good size, 6'4", well over 200 pounds. Was a pending UFA, making under $1 million. Likely wasn't going to be re-signed by the St. Louis Blues. We know GM Doug Armstrong of the Blues has been wanting to kind of redo this Blues blue line and make some moves all year back to the offseason. It's been a challenge. He has not been able to move some of the higher priced, longer term deals that he signed in the last couple of years that are not working out. He wants to make some room for some younger D to get more opportunity. And we know the Blues, you can't completely rule out that the Blues are not going to be a playoff team. Like, they're kind of one of those bubble teams that are, I think, going to be possibly in the mix for a wild card spot. It's early to say. They may or may not. Like, I don't expect him to contend. And we know we've seen with the past history, Doug Armstrong, if he doesn't feel his team is a contender, he's not afraid to make moves. We've seen him even getting at the deadline, going into the playoffs, and move out a big piece because he wasn't going to like, look at Paul Stastny, prime example of that. When he get traded and, he knew he wasn't going to be bringing him back. So at the end of the day, he did what he thought was best for the future of the club, not thinking that the team was in a contending position. So ultimately, makes sense for both sides, I think. It gives the Islanders some gap insurance until their guys get healthy. If they do need to move anybody out down the road between Bortuzzo, Riley, it gives them some more depth if they can hang on to them. Otherwise, they have to play somebody on waivers, or it could be fully variable in the minors. Like, there's lots of options. So we'll see what happens in that sense. But I think it's a good pickup just to, add some more depth to the third pair once everybody's healthy. You might have to play more minutes in the interim, but we'll see where it goes. So let me know your thoughts on this trade. We'll be back a little bit later with another news and rumor video to wrap up the rest of today's news around the entire NHL. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around so you don't miss anything. And I'll catch you next time.